when I began, like I said, when I began to come into the city, I noticed the difference between the parallelism of single households and two-parent households, and the way the children behaved. Um, I see a lot of these children. I live in the city too. I'm not that much, bless you,
Excuse me.
inner city as the school that I work at. But I do run into a lot of my children when I'm out shopping, and I do notice that they are single parent households. And just to listen to their conversations when they have conversations with you in the classroom, some of these children are raising themselves. They're raising themselves, or they see situations that you would make you go, but you don't actually do it when they tell you. Because I've had a child tell me, well, Miss Anita, that I didn't get to sleep. I'm sleepy today. I didn't get much sleep last night. My mama put me and my sister in the car, and we went over to this lady's house, and they was cussing and fussing outside. And you know, your heart kind of sinks when you hear a little 7 or 8 year old child saying that's why she didn't get to sleep or she didn't get her homework done. Don't be upset at her. Or mama's not going to sign for me to go on a field trip because she don't want to give up $5 to go on a field trip. You know, your heart goes out for children that have those type of situations. And I didn't have that or have to deal with that when I taught out there in the world. Like I said, you know, the incomes were different. Their situations, the whole lifestyle was different. And you can tell that in the children. Because anytime a 9 or 10 year old child don't think anything of cussing their teacher out or wanting to fight them, you know their home situation is different. Yeah.
And I can see how emotional that's made you being in this situation and the difference. You know, that can be a lot to deal with. I feel for you because that can be a very large emotional undertaking to have to deal with those types of situations on a daily basis. And I can understand any person feeling very, very emotionally heavy with that. And so, if it were possible, I know you mentioned you didn't really think it would be possible for you to really move to another school and move back into a regular classroom to be with to not be with EC kids. If that were possible, would that be something that
at the school I'm at?
Well, at all, like, so if it were possible not only to move out of EC but into a regular classroom and to maybe another school where you had a little more support and the school had a little bit maybe different set of resources, that would be something you would want to do. Because I hear you discuss your concerns for retirement, but you really also kind of say, you know, I kind of want to stay, but I kind of don't know. Would that really be something that could help, that would maybe, you know, change your mind about retiring?
It would, but I also have come to the realization that that won't happen. And that's hard. Even though I do love to teach, and I, you know, like I said, I really, really want this younger generations to have the right tools to, you know, be very prosperous in life. I'm kind of, over the years, I'm an educator, and I hate to say that, I've kind of got like a bad taste in my mouth about how public schools are now. They're not what all of them should be. You know, I know the administrations and things like that try to do their best, but as I've grown older and wiser as a teacher, I also see how politics are involved in schools,
Mhm.
and it's hard. It hurts your heart.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I know I'm not gonna get to move nowhere else.
Mhm.
I'm good at what I do, and they're gonna keep me where I'm at
Mhm.
because they need good teachers in the type of schools that I am, Title I schools.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll be fine.
Oh, well.
I just take it with a grain of salt and take each one day at a time.
And again, I sense your how closely this is tied to your heart, and I can really sense your passion for education and the school system and the future of students. So, um, since I know that retirement is a very real option for you, um, given everything that we've discussed. Um, and of course, again, we talked about the financial component.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would you think would be next for you? Because you mentioned several things, like we touched on the daycare component. You mentioned retail.
Right.
Many different things that you have done in your past. Before or even during your tenureship as an educator. What are some things that you are interested in moving forward at this stage of your life?
Moving forward, knowing that I have to work, I wish I could travel.
Mm-hmm.
Wish I could travel a little more over the summer, but I stay in school and I work. Like you said, I guess I have a passion for trying to teach the younger generation. So I even work during the summertime. I work in summer schools.
Mm-hmm.
I work in the summer schools with the more profound handicapped kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always working.
Mm-hmm. So would that be something that you might want to pursue further? Maybe working in a different educational setting, maybe with.
Oh, I know what I've thought of, Miss Kennedy and Miss Byers.
Yeah.
I did not finish my degree.
Okay.
So if I do retire early, I just might go back and finish my degree for myself.
Okay.
Just for myself.
So that's another
That's
option.
another option, right.
So you discussed.
That's to keep my mind busy.
Right. So we discussed maybe daycare.
Right.
Maybe working in the school setting in a different component, maybe
Right.
with severely or profound handicapped children,
Right.
or maybe maybe more in administration. Excuse me, not administration, but more like on the school board, or some other position that might allow you to still
keep an opinion.
right,
What's my
and
opinion
be
in
within and be within the educational
Right.
setting, but different than what you are
Right.
now. And that was a big one that you just mentioned. You mentioned going back to school, finishing your degree. So tell me a little bit about that. Your when you were getting your degree,
I came out in the middle 80s of
Okay.
college.
Mm-hmm.
Fell in love.
Oh.
Got married. I had a child.
Mm-hmm.
But the marriage didn't work out. It only
Mhm.
lasted 10 years. So I devoted myself to my child and
Mhm.
my job and my household. So as time has gone by and she's grown and she's finished college and she's on her way, I'm basically by myself. Like I said, I'm divorced, but they consider me single.
Mm-hmm.
So with the retirement and the fact that I am going to have to work a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
thought about going back and finishing these last 10 hours. All I need is 10 hours to graduate, undergraduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I really am really thinking of keeping myself busy that way with a part-time job of some sort and finishing out my degree for myself.
Mm-hmm. And your degree that you were pursuing. Well, first of all, let me say that having 10 hours left, like, wow, like, you got so close.
Yeah.
And so that seems like a very, very reasonable option for you, something that's very feasible.
Right.
And you were receiving your degree in
Early childhood education.
early childhood education. Well, that makes sense with wanting to be
Right.
an educator.
Right.
And So,
But this time I think I would like to specialize in English. English. I like to read. I like to write. I'm always on my kids about their handwriting and them talking correctly. I don't allow ebonics in my classroom. And so I want them to, present themselves in a very professional, maybe formal type way that they're not hearing at home. But like I said, I don't allow ebonics and I don't like the slangs and stuff. So in their classroom, they have learned to say yes ma'am, no ma'am. You don't hear that too much very more. And they do say please and thank you. It took a couple of months to get it in there. They're writing this there. So, hopefully I give them the joy of wanting to be the best of whatever they decide they want to be. Right.
Okay. So, all right. So, you wanted to go back and maybe finish out your childhood early education degree and maybe pick up a minor or an additional degree in English.
Right.
Okay. So that's really, really interesting, and that would open up a plethora of doors for you.
Older lady, yes.
Yes, you could. There are many other things that you could do with that degree. And going back to school again, it can be a big feat.
Probably culture shock, but I'm ready.
Yes, it could be culture shock. And how would you, if you were to retire, and go back and decide to go ahead and retire early and decide to go back to school, how would you handle the financial component, since you did mention that you would need to have an additional job to supplement your income? How would you fit going to school in that?
I had tried it earlier on when my daughter was still in undergrad, and I did a little research into it myself. As long as I went the full hours, which I consider, is it still considered 12 hours now?
Yes.
Full time?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay, if I go full time, I can receive financial aid. And by me not having to stay on campus, I do believe I could get a little refund.
Oh.
See, I have thought about that. And that was supplemented, plus the fact that I can work part-time, go to school full-time. I want to keep my mind alive. So, yeah, I've given good thought to some of it.
So, Miss Anita, you're really setting yourself up to be extremely busy.
Right.
You're thinking about retiring. And I think that it's wonderful that you kind of in your mind have set up some different plans. I can kind of see when you're piecing things together, like, okay, if I retire early and I do this, it'll work this way. Or I can do this and this and it'll work this way. And it would be a lot to work and go to school. How do you think that you would handle that? Is that something that you really would want to do?
Yeah, I want to. What has made me decide to, keep busy like that? The lady that works in the classroom with me is my long-term sub. Made me feel I can do anything. She's 72 years old, and she's raising her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. She works with us. She is on school councils, different organizations. And I'm saying, if she can do that at 72, I can do that at 60, 63. So, hey, what's the deal? So, she motivates me.
That's excellent that you have somebody that motivates you, someone that you can look up to and identify with, and it sounds like you really want to make a lot of changes in your life, in reference to what you're doing, and you still want to be impactful, but it sounds kind of like you want to be impactful in a different way. Is that about right?
Right.
Okay. So, I can see now, and I sense a little bit of passion in you, a newfound, like upbeatness in you when you talk about maybe pursuing, your degree and doing some other things outside of
just teaching
and being in the situation that you're in now. So your plan, if you were to ideally put a plan together what do you think it would consist of? We talked about retiring in the next 3 years.
Right.
And would you want to start school and work immediately, or one and then give some time to the other?
Gradually,
Mm-hmm.
slowly move into together.
Mm-hmm.
Work and school.
Mm-hmm.
Work and school. And being and being in the, just trying to help the community out. As,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the lady has motivated me to be involved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not exactly knowing how involved or what I shall be involved in, but I know I want to stay involved.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like I said, I want to keep my mind going,
Mm-hmm.
busy, moving.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll keep my body, hopefully, doing the same thing too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that.
I want to live the right old age of my mom. My mom lives to be 89.
Mm-hmm.
I want to still be motivated. My mom at 89 could run circles around me when I was in my mid-50s. So I want to be as powerful as she was in her way, but in my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since that makes you proud it makes you feel happy and
Yeah.
to live up to the expectations of your mom, or
Right.
even the woman that you work with, who
Right.
kind of sounds like she's a sort of mentor for you.
Right.
in some
She's a
type
little
of way.
go-getter.
Yeah.
And talks a little junk too. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're starting to feel a little bit more. You're starting to understand a little more some of the things that you would like to do, and kind of understanding where you really want to go as far as your
In the latter part of my life.
in the latter part of your life, and
Yeah.
and how your work is concerned. And touching back to the occupational component of it, because school would definitely help with your income.
Right.
How where exactly would you think that you would like to work? I know we talked about maybe daycare. That's a very obvious
Right.
option, and maybe working some other way in the school system is another obvious option. But are you open maybe to doing something new? What are some things that interest you? I know you mentioned helping out the community.
Right.
So what kind of jobs would you be looking into moving into in the next few years?
Not so much as jobs. I would like to see young girls be mentored.
Mm-hmm.
They're always talking about the young black males being mentored,
Mm-hmm.
and I see that as a program at my school.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have anything for young ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Young ladies are just as well a target for society, and they need someone to guide them and mold them in the right way to be, not to always just be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Have self-pride, speak eloquently, carry yourself like a young woman.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see a lot more mentoring done for the young black females,
Mm-hmm.
so they can have some self-pride about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Where things have changed over the generations as I've gotten older, and a lot of young women don't have that self-pride. They don't know it themselves because their moms don't know it or their grandmothers don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm seeing grandmothers in their 40s.
Mm.
So if when you young and you don't have anybody to give you a background or a basis to know how to respect yourself, you'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
And I come upon a situation the other day in the hallway where a gentleman, and I don't know if this was his girlfriend or what, and he came in school and I was at the door and he spoke so disrespectful. And I know I'm not that type that would take something like that. It took a lot of me just to say, that's not my situation to get in. But, how can you ask for respect when you don't know what respect is? So I feel a lot of these young ladies need to know how to respect themselves first and know themselves before they get into situations like that.
Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that again, that you would really, really like to delve maybe more into your civic responsibilities,
Right.
and that seems to be, like I said, a new passion for you, giving back and you utilizing your talents in that particular way, and that's steered more away, and it's steered more away from you maybe finding just a job or something like that. So could maybe it be an option for you to retire and maybe go back to school full time to finish out your degrees, maybe supplement your income with financial aid, and then you maybe work in your community for some of, maybe a nonprofit organization, some of your community civic organizations. Is that an option for you, or because I know you spoke about needing to have and a job to supplement your income, but it doesn't really seem like your passion is really there to just work just a job to get through.
Right.
So
I want to feel needed in what I do, and I want to be respected in what I do. So I still have enough. I feel I have enough time, but you never know how times run to get everything ironed out. So prayfully I get it all ironed out. And if you help me get it, some of this stuff ironed
I
out.
would love to help you as much as I can and offer as much to you as I can.
Right.
So I just wanted to make sure that when moving forward with you thinking about retirement, because we never know how, things could change.
Right.
And you never know, you could be in a different predicament than you are now.
Right.
You may move to a new school.
Right.
You may find yourself not wanting to retire.
Right.
But it's important, that since this is something that you are considering, that you look into it and you find out as much as you can about what needs to be done and what steps need to be taken.
Okay.
Have you actually looked into all of the steps that you would need to take to formally retire? Do you know exactly what you would need to do?
Beginning process. I'm taking baby steps and learning slowly but surely. Yeah.
Okay. And with the penalization or the consequences that come along with you not being retirement age, understanding that financial responsibility that may come, that may become a burden. So I think it's maybe a good idea for us to try to think about some other areas where you could work in the meantime until you can work out the things that you are starting to feel that new passion for, those civic opportunities and finishing out your degree. And you've been an educator for a very long time, and it appears that you have a lot of talents and assets in that area, and that's really kind of, you like that helping component. Would you be open to maybe taking a career assessment or something like that to see what you might like to do?
I never thought about that. Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great to see where I could go once that has ended. Yeah, that would be great.
Because I just think it's really important, if you are going to retire, that we have a nice plan for you to make sure that you're financially stable. To make sure that doesn't become another stressor for you.
Right. I think everybody's stressed about money regardless of what.
That is very true. Money can be a very, very big stressor.
Yeah.
And that may be something that, we can look at in doing, have you take a few career tests or a few tests that could kind of see where your interests lie, and how closely they're aligned, and maybe provide you with some alternative occupations that you may not have thought about. So I think that is very important. And also, since you kind of seem very interested in going back to school, looking into what would be required for you to pick back up where you left off, what would be required for you to finish out your degree in early education, and even what it would take to get a minor or an additional bachelor's in English. Maybe look at the class work, maybe visit a college website or some things to kind of see what exactly you have to do, so you kind of understand what you're looking at, because
Right.
you are looking to do this in the next 3 years. So you do have some time. It's not like
Right.
tomorrow,
Okay.
but it is something that is coming up pretty soon
True.
that you can kind of start looking into and having a plan for. So
Excuse me.
wonderful. So I think that those would be some realistic steps that we can take towards looking at your future and how you're feeling about that.
Okay.
So moving forward with looking at, you're looking at doing a degree.
Okay.
Um,
Excuse me just for a moment. Drop something. Thank you.
That's fine. And moving forward with retirement. And even another option that just popped into my mind, even just maybe looking into moving to a new school or new positions that may be open that you can service yourself in. Are those some things that you think that you can kind of do to
'Cause
kind of?
I just thought about that.
Mhm.
I noticed they still have the positions where we used to call primary reading teacher. They call them resource. So if I did go back and did start to work on my finishing up my degree, maybe I could come back part-time in the elementary school as a primary reading teacher. Because our children have problems with reading and comprehension. I still want to have my hands on the youth. Yeah.
And that's a very viable option for you to have. And I think that's awesome that we're starting to get the ball rolling already on things that you can think about. So are those some things that you are comfortable with looking at and doing?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that would be a good area to kind of start thinking about, some good things to start looking at. And I would want maybe for our next session for you to come back and kind of talk to me a little bit about what you found out about retirement and school and things like that. And so I do want to ask you, because I'm looking at your body and I'm noticing you're a little more open. How are you feeling after discussing some of these things?
A little more relieved about things. I'm looking forward to the next 5 to 8 years of my life. God bless me. God bless everybody. So yeah, I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm always optimistic, but just a little bit more now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I'm really glad to hear that you're feeling a little bit better about your work situation and your potential future.
Right.
And I'm glad that I could be of service to help you with anything. So again, if I'm not being too presumptuous, you would like to meet back with me maybe at a later date.
Right, that will be fine.
And you can work on those things that I've outlined for you, in reference to the retirement and the school and things. And I think that it would be good for you to do those things, and I would love to see you again and see, how you're feeling again about what you found out.
Oh yes, most definitely. I'm a very animated and optimistic person, so yes.
Well, as always, it's been a pleasure and a joy to spend time with you, Miss Anita, and thank you for sharing what's going on with you in your life and things that your thoughts and your feelings with me. And thank you.
Thank you so much for the advice. I am looking forward. Now I can go back and do what I used to do. Make my little to-do list. Yes.
And I think that's a very, very helpful thing to do. Have a to-do list.
Right.
And, write out those things that you want to accomplish. And so I look forward to seeing and speaking with you very soon about the things that you're going to be looking into. And hopefully you'll be feeling a little bit more optimistic about.
Because like you said, I'm always moving. Yes.
Right. Very, very good. So I hope to see you soon.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.